The entire country commemorate the men, women and children of 100 years ago as the centenary commemorations of 1916 are finally here. My next guest, however, is commemorating quite a different anniversary this week because she and her 2-year-old daughter have been living in a small hotel room in Dublin for exactly 1 year this week. To tell her story, would you welcome, please, Lindsay Robinson. Welcome, Lindsay. Thanks for coming in to see us tonight. And we'll talk about the hotel and the room and the circumstances around all that in a minute. But I suppose we'll begin by asking you about the fact that you lived with your mum and sister, isn't that right?
Yeah.
For a while. What happened?
Well, basically, we were living in a flat in Dublin city centre with my mother. My mother wasn't well at the time. We were living there, we were kind of looking after her a little bit. But she passed away suddenly in May 2013. We knew she was unwell, but we weren't expecting it. But Dublin City, because we weren't renting for longer than 2 years, Dublin City Council sent a letter to say we had 2 weeks to get up and move out, basically. So within those 2 weeks, after 6 days, Dublin City Council came in. It was actually the night my mother's wake. Her wake was in my aunt's house. They came in and they wrecked the place, took everything, literally photographs, clothes, everything, thrown it all out into the back of a truck and boarded the place up. And
boarded the flat up.
Yeah.
And that, sadly, is within their right, isn't it? I mean, that's what they can and have to do,
well, they did give us 2 weeks. This was done within 6 days. But because we weren't renting for longer than 2 years, it was their right to do that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
OK, that doesn't distract from the fact that there you were found out of a place to live, which is the important point here.
Yeah, I'm pregnant as well. I was 7 months pregnant on my daughter, Callie, at the time. Yeah.
OK. Where were you in your head when this was all happening?
In my head, it was like my mother was after passing away. I was after losing my home. I was pregnant on this little baby. I had to protect her. I couldn't let any of this in to affect the baby. Do you know what I mean? I had to mind the baby.
How old were you at that point?
I was 21.
21, OK. Yeah. So what do you do when you're faced with this scenario? Where do you go?
I went to my aunt, Adele. She's out there in the audience.
OK.
She took me in until I had the baby, and we were staying at hers for a while, but it's overcrowded. So eventually I found a place to rent in Finglas for a year, but after the year the landlord was putting the rent up, so I couldn't afford it, so I had no choice. Adele took me back in for a while, and there was no space. We were sleeping on the chair, like she has her own children and everything, so I had to present myself as homeless. OK, so you had that year, which was probably, how was that year for you, where you were renting? It was okay.
Yeah, it was all right.
It was like, as I said, I lost my mother. I had a new baby. It was just hectic.
Yeah. You were on your own, were you?
Yeah, I was on my own with the baby.
So utterly, kind of quite chaotic time in your life, really, realistically. Emotionally and physically, no doubt. So you're back to your aunt. She's got a busy house. She can't keep you. You're out again. And you just said there you had to present yourself as homeless. Yeah. And what does that mean? What does that mean practically?
You have to go down to the homeless places in Park 8th Street. You have to let them know your situation, that you have nowhere to go and whatever, and they try and find you a place. Now, I went down on the Friday and they told me they hadn't got anywhere from me, so I had to stay in the car for that weekend with the baby. She picked up a chest infection.
Did you sleep in the car?
In the car, yeah.
For 2 days?
For 2 days, yeah, because they had nowhere for us to go.
And Callie was at that point how old?
1. Yeah, 1. So I got letters to say that we had been in Temple Street, and I went to a local TD, Joe Costello, and actually his secretary, and she called him and said, look, this woman can't sleep in her car any longer with her child, like her child has been sick. So within an hour or two I got a phone call to say they had a room for me in a hotel, and I've been there ever since. That's a year ago this week. Yeah.
Sometimes people think, oh, it's just well for you to be living in a hotel, and you know what I'm talking about. They'll say, oh, look, you got room service and clean sheets and food and everything like that. But, you know, we're going to talk to Erica Fleming in a minute, and I spoke to her at some length on the radio about this and saw the documentary as well. Tell me what it is like for you to be there, because I got the impression this is not a cakewalk.
No, it's not.
Why not?
People think you're living in a hotel, you have no bills, you get handed everything on a plate, basically.
And are they wrong?
Yes, they are wrong. You don't get handed everything on a plate. You're just left in one room on your own, and that's it. Live from it. You have a fridge, you have, a single bed here, a single bed there, tiny bit of floor space, your fridge and your toilet. That's it. There's a shared kitchen now in the hotel that I'm in, so that's a good thing. Most hotels don't have that, so people have to order in or wherever they go for food. With the shared kitchen, like, you can't do things like you do in a normal home, like make a stew or anything, because there's people wanting to use the cooker, so you're kind of rushing your food, you know, that kind of way. You try and avoid the kitchen.
What about bringing up a 2-year-old in a hotel room?
It's so hard. Like, she only has one room to play in. Like, you can't, like, she got a bike for her birthday and she got a scooter for her birthday, but they have to be kept in her grandparents' house, because how's she meant to play on a bike in a little square in a hotel room? Like, I'm on the 5th floor. There's no lift. How am I meant to even carry the bike up? Do you know what I mean? She's a limited amount of toys. She gets really stressed out. Like, I notice when she's in my sister's house, or if she's in my aunt's house, like, she's playing away and everything's fine. As soon as she gets back to the hotel, her behaviour changes automatically.
To what?
Being bold. And she's not a bold child. She acts out on things like, I hate this room and I don't like you, Mummy, and it's like she's blaming me for having her there, but it's not my fault. All I want is to have a house for her to go up to her own room and play. Or, like, I was looking at her the other day playing out in my aunt's front garden, kicking the ball around. I was nearly crying because I don't get to see her doing that. Like I do when I bring her to the park and stuff. There's only so much you can bring your child to the park and to the zoo and to the Plex and all these places. Do you know what I mean? It'd be great to see her having her own little room and having her, like, cycling around on a little bike, you know. She has got none of that.
What about coming and going? Are you free to come and go as you please in the hotel?
Well, you have to be in at a certain time. You have to be in at 11, but, like, you get up in the morning. This is, like, basically every day, up in the morning, think about. You have to make a plan for the day. You can't sit in that room all day with a 2-year-old. You have to get her out to do things. She doesn't want to be in a room all day. So it's just every day you have to get up, whether you want to get up or whether you, do you know what I mean? You have to just get up, get out, do something with the child to keep her entertained, whether it's going to a local playground, going for food, going to the Plex, just passing the day, basically, visiting relatives like me aunt and me friends, but sometimes they're not always around, so every day is like you're looking for something to do, to waste the day. You're trying to waste time to go back to the hotel, to cook you a bit of dinner, to go to bed. Every day it's just, it's torture.
It sounds exhausting.
It's like a year, yeah.
And relentless.
Yeah.
And it's a year you're there now.
Yeah.
You have been, you know, in a college situation at one stage, hadn't you? I mean,
yeah, I was going to college. The baby was in crash. I was studying to be a social worker, something I'd really like to do.
Yeah.
But it was like 3 days a week. Like one day it was 9 to 1, 10 to 2. It was all different times. It didn't match with the times of the crash, and I hadn't got someone to pick up the baby all the time. So, and I couldn't get a childminder in at home because you can't have any visitors. So, unfortunately, I had to drop out of college and take the baby out of crash. And because she's not got, I need to know where I'm going to be living, so I can put her into a crash and say, right, I can stick at this now. She's not going to have to move. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than put her into a crash and a couple of months later she'll have to move. She'll have to. Do you know what I mean?
Stability.
Stability. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Else. How are you doing emotionally? I mean, this sounds like it's heavy to say the least.
Yeah.
How are you coping?
Not good. Not when I first moved into the hotel. I had to go to the doctor because I wasn't used to any of this kind of thing. Like move, I didn't know who I was going to be living beside. I was terrified. So I went to the doctor and I asked him for some antidepressants that I wasn't coping really well.
Yeah.
So I was on them for about 9 months, and then just after Christmas I took a breakdown. I said, I can't take this anymore. Those tablets aren't working. I can't be in this room anymore. Like I couldn't do it anymore.
Is that it? Is it the claustrophobia? Just this room in and out, the same thing every day, as you said, trying to waste a day just to get the day over.
And when the baby's in a grandparent, you're there on your own. Like you've no really neighbours to talk to. Like, do you know what I mean? Everyone kind of keeps to themselves. So, like for instance, the other day I took a panic attack in the room and it went on for like 40 minutes. And there was nobody around to help. Like I thought I was going to pass out. I had to ring reception in the end because it was that bad, and get the fella from reception to come from a fair place when me come up and took me downstairs and sat me down and gave me water and calmed me. But like if I had my own place, I could knock into a neighbour. You know, you haven't got that when you're in a hotel.
What do you think brings on the panic attacks, Lindsay?
It's a small room. It's being on your own in the room, and I suffer from postnatal depression. When I had the breakdown, I started to attend PA to house because, to be honest, I did have suicidal thoughts. It got that bad. I had suicidal thoughts, but I was thinking, it's either leave the child without a mother or else go and get help. So I reached out to PA to house and I got the help.
And they looked after you. They're super organised.
They're looking at fair play to them.
Tell me, Lindsay, you're there a year this week, as I say, and this week that we're talking about. how great we are in 2016 and so on, and yet we hear your story and we have to check ourselves and say, hang on,
this is going on in the world.
This is going on, precisely, and that's why we're so glad that you're here to remind us about the realities of that tonight. But I would like to ask you about a sense of hope, and I'd like to ask you, have you been given any sense of a time frame as to whether you might be able to get a flat or a home?
No, I ring every day, every second day, Dublin City Council, to be told, yeah, Lindsay, you're near the end now, shouldn't be long now. Then 2 days later I ring, oh no, Lindsay, you have a long, long time ahead of you, and with my mental health the way it is at the minute, I can't handle that. I cry every time I get off the phone. It's never a happy phone call, it's always, and that sets your mood up for the day. So just being set up, oh yeah, you're going to be housed soon, to be let back down again a couple of days later. And tonight we say, in a few minutes' time, we'll say good night. You go back to the hotel? Yeah. Erica Fleming with us tonight, and Erica, I'm going to come over to you because I want to say, well, do you want to say thanks to Lindsay? She did well. Hi, Erica. Hey. Nice to see you again. Yeah, you too. My Homeless Family, it was a documentary made that you kind of filmed yourself, and I was really, really taken by it and by what you had to say, and we spoke at length on the radio about your story. How are you doing? Very well. You all right? I'm busy. Yeah, I think I get the impression that you've become more like almost like an activist, but I'll get there in a second. Remind us of your own circumstances, because they sound eerily familiar to what we've been hearing from Lindsay. Yeah, so we're homeless 278 days. So that's since last July, just for everybody. And there was, you know, we're not being given any hope by Dublin City Council. It's significant, they're telling me, a significant amount of time left to be in a hotel. What does that mean? I don't know. And this other word that they keep throwing at me is the fluidity. The fluidity of the list never changes, which that bothers me because, you know, what does that mean? What does that mean? So they're kind of words that can mean anything, exactly, really. And I kind of think, just listening there, about hope. It's very easy in the situation to lose hope. And the way it's working is that the council aren't giving you any hope. But without hope, there's nothing. So we still need that little bit of hope, you know? Your daughter, stayed with me, the image of your daughter getting into school uniform, passing through the lobby on her way to school, passing people, having the pints as the party continued from the night before. And I think that if we talk about your setup where you were ringing the council and you recorded the phone call, you were on hold for 30 minutes waiting to hear. While I'm in work, so you have to ring during a certain period of time, so it's between 10 and 12, and I'm in work in those hours, so I have to ring Dublin City Council and sit on the phone for 30 minutes while trying to do my job. What about people who say they're in a hotel, isn't it well for them to be living in a hotel with the clean sheets and the food and the comfort and the heat and all? Answer that criticism, Ryan, because people are shouting at their TVs tonight. Well, I'd love to be washing my own sheets. I'd love to have, you know, to clean my own room. I'd love to have the opportunity to do all those things for myself. Obviously, that's the hotel policy, to come in and, you know, make your bed and clean your room. But I'd love to have the opportunity to have to do that for myself and my daughter. Why are we talking to two young women tonight in 2016, in this anniversary year, about something like this? Because nobody cares, and the problem isn't been solved. Everyone keeps talking about it, but there's no action. Let me give you some figures that we kind of totted up I'm still flabbergasted by these numbers. From figures we've been given, it seems that it costs at least €100 a night to host a family in a hotel, a homeless family. This is very stark, €100 a night. That adds up per year to €36,000. To put people in this situation. If you multiply that by the 581 families currently being housed in hotels in Dublin, that's costing us approximately €21 million per year. Yep. And I said, I spoke... On hotel rooms? Yep, I spoke outside the Dáil not too long ago, and I was trying to send a message home to everybody in this country that some people, because they don't have a family member that's, you know, in hotel accommodation or in a temporary emergency accommodation, they feel like, oh, that doesn't affect me. Yeah. It is affecting you because it's your money. It's your money. It's your money. Tell me about the event. Sunday, I organised a protest for Sunday.
in support of homeless families. For the homeless crisis, it'll be at 1 o'clock on O'Connell Street, meeting at Anne's Bakery on North Earl Street.
Okay.
So we'll meet there, and then we'll decide how close we can get to O'Connell Street.
To the action.
But it's just because we're not being heard, but people need to see us because we're real.
And Emily, how's she?
Okay.
She's all right, but not 100%.
Well, no child would be in this situation.
She wants a home.
Of course she does, more than ever.
Thanks for coming to see us.
Thank
Erica
you.
Fleming, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm not sure, Lindsay, what our chat will have done for people at home in terms of thinking and watching what's happening. And I'll finish by asking how you're doing today and tonight. How are you feeling?
Nervous.
Well, that's normal.
But I'm happy. I'm glad I got my story out there, and I hope it makes people realise now what we're going through. It's not all a walk in the park for us all. It's actually really bad. It's really affecting all of our mental health.
OK, well, thanks for taking the courage and the time to come to see us tonight. Good luck
Thank
to you
you.
and to Kelly.
Thanks
Thanks, Lindsay Robinson, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Lindsay. Stay there for a moment if you would. Thank you. OK. And just to recap, Erica's protest for the homeless takes place on Easter Sunday, as she said, from 1 o'clock outside the GPO or thereabouts on Dublin's O'Connell Street. You'll see them, as she says herself. Yeah, you've heard, and now you can see. Still to come, ladies and gentlemen.